The Hunter Brothers. 5 brothers from the heart and soul of the Saskatchewan prairies, an upcoming country band who have a great start into their professional career. Their roots run deep into the soil, quite literally, as they are still full-time grain farmers as well as musicians and parents. JJ, Brock, Dusty, Luke, and Ty Hunter make the band that all started in a Shaunavon church. I have Ty on the phone with me this morning. Ty, it's a real pleasure to talk to you. How are you doing?
Thanks so much for having me this morning, Justine. It is great to chat with you. I'm doing fantastic. We're getting ready for seeding here, so life is good.
So Ty, can you tell me about the brothers, the age gap, the role each person plays in the group, and when music became a part of your lives?
JJ is actually the oldest, and he's 36, and we stem all the way down to 24. I'm the baby of the family, so everybody else falls somewhere in between. We all actually grew up playing piano, so Mom put us in piano lessons. Actually, Dad put us in hockey, and the deal was that in order to go out and play hockey, we had to first practice our piano. So that's where everything stems from. It's a great instrument to kind of kick things off from a musical standpoint. And eventually everybody started taking interest in different instruments. So JJ branched off to the acoustic guitar, Dusty branched off to the drums, Luke to the bass guitar, Brock to the electric guitar. I stuck with keys. And we were actually a gospel-based group growing up as a family, and so we sang a lot of harmonies, a lot of a cappella music. We all actually sing in the band, and then we all kind of have our individual instruments as well.
Can you tell me a little bit about growing up near Shaunavon and the influence that both Saskatchewan and farming has had on your music so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, growing up in Shaunavon, it's obviously a small town feel, so everybody kind of knows everybody. We often joke that if you sneeze in the middle of the night, you go to the post office the next morning and you have 10 people ask you how your cold is. We've always been part of kind of a tight-knit family and a close community here. But I think it's a little bit different from everybody's perspective, just based off of if you were the oldest, if you were the youngest. I mean, I'm almost 6 years younger from the second youngest brother, which is Brock. And so everybody has a little bit of a different perspective, but I think just we grew up farming together, we grew up playing hockey together, we grew up doing music together, pretty much everything together that we could. Eventually, the guys all went off to play hockey at either semi-pro or professional levels, and eventually actually everybody sustained some sort of injury of some sort, and brought everybody back to the family farm, and then we started pursuing music a little more professionally. Not that we weren't doing it before, because we would congregate in the summertime and go to festivals in the summers in between farming seasons, between seeding and harvest. But now we've made a bit of a transition into country music. Southwest Saskatchewan has always been our home, and so our roots are definitely down deep in the soil.
So is music the big picture, or is farming still the passion?
Well, I mean, it kind of depends on the season at this point, because if we're immersed in the heart of seeding or harvest time, we definitely are still involved with music, but we're still involved with farming as it is a bit of the breadwinner at this point. So during those seasons, we tend to shift our focus a little more to the farming, and then in the winter time and in the summertime, tend to put a little more emphasis on the music. So we try and kind of just keep it balanced, because both are still a year-round endeavor, but just kind of one will take a little more precedence over the other depending on the season. So it's just a constant balancing act, and we just need to stay in good communication. We try to just continue to sustain things the best that we possibly can throughout busy seasons.
Let's talk about your previous success. Can you tell me about signing with Open Road Recordings, the bands you have opened for, and your radio tour?
We signed with Open Road Recordings in November of 2015, and we're directed there by our good friend Brad Rempel from High Valley. And we grew up singing a lot of festivals with High Valley as kids. His younger brother Brian was actually, I think, shorter than his bass guitar when we were playing together growing up. And then our paths have just crossed intermittently. And yeah, Brad actually connected us with the Open Road Recordings team. We signed in November of 2015. We did open for High Valley in Kamloops this last year, and we also opened for Dallas Smith in Regina. That was a lot of fun as well. Both of those concerts, we opened for Chad Brownlee at the Corn and Apple Festival in Morden. So there were different shows that were a lot of fun this last year. Last year when we released El Dorado in February of 2016, we actually did our very first ever Canadian radio tour. So that took place over the course of 6 weeks, not all at one time. We split it off into different portions. And we went out to BC, we went through Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, all the way out to the East Coast. And so I had never actually been out to the East Coast, so we were in places like St. John's and Halifax and Fredericton. And so that was a tremendous amount of fun. So although we weren't doing entire concerts, we were meeting all the DJs at the various radio stations and just gaining a lot of experience that we had never had before previously. And so that whole experience, I would say, was tremendous, and it was one of our highlights again in our musical career. I think just being able to see the entire country and its beauty, and also, like I said, meeting all of the DJs at the various radio stations was a lot of fun.
El Dorado hit number 25 on the Canadian Billboard last year. So can you tell me a little bit about what that meant to the band?
It was incredible to see it hop onto the chart for the first time. I think one of the most surreal moments is when you hear the song for the first time on your local country station, because you grew up listening to country music radio from your tractor cabs, from your combine cabs, and local businesses. So to all of a sudden hear it come on is probably one of the most surreal moments. So we were just very humbled and honored by the fact that people really liked the song and took to it, and that it worked its way into the top 30 on the chart. So yeah, it was a very exciting year for us.
Also, last November, you had a Facebook Live video that went viral that has more than 1.6 million views, made local radio station news, and CTV Regina. Who was the mastermind behind the idea?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo! November 7th. Christmas is in like 3 days, and we're still combining. Mom and Dad, if you can see them, are combining way over there. They didn't get stuck. The trucks are over there. They're not stuck. But Brock was combining.
And he most definitely.
And he is Seward.
Oh, the combine stuck and the grain cart stuck, and it's all because of the sprayer rut. But the truck got stuck in the auger rut, so how can we fill up the bin? It had been a while, not a friend in sight. What do? It was 8:45. John Deere tractor drove by and just kept on driving. Mighty neighborly. Mighty neighborly.
Well, actually, I'm going to give a little bit of history to this, because at harvest time, I'm not going to say that I am naturally a farmer at heart. So a few years back, I decided to develop a bit of a radio program called the Fun Cab Radio. And so I would do live game shows and parody songs and all sorts of different things between the CB radios at harvest time. And that's been going on for a number of years now. And last year, with the harvest being as crazy as it was, we're in combines in November. I quickly wrote up a bit of a parody. The Corblunds, the truck got stuck at some point in harvest time, and we popped out of our cabs when Brock got one of the combines stuck. I was like, we need to sing this song. None of the guys really knew what was going on. They didn't know the lyrics. We popped it up on an iPhone. We did a quick Facebook Live because we had to get back into the implements to keep harvesting. And so, yeah, we got out, we sang this song, we hopped back in the cabs, and a couple days later, boom, it was up over 1 million views. And we just realized that I think a lot of people were feeling the weightiness of how long harvest was taking. So that was a bit of a surprise for all of us. Came up with those in my tractor cab. So I don't know kind of what happens, but I just take country songs, pop songs, whatever songs are kind of on the radio, and rewrite lyrics to them, and just try to provide a little bit of relief from the toilsome seasons, and just give everybody a bit of a laugh.
Your newest album, labeled Getaway, recently was released. So can you tell me a little bit about the feedback that you've had so far?
Well, I mean, it's very, very early on. It was just released in March 3rd, the digital copy came out, and March 17th, the hard copy came out. So it's very, very fresh on the market. It actually debuted at number 1 on the iTunes country chart, or it went to number 1 the first day of release. So that was pretty exciting for us. And the response has been very favorable, very positive. Getaway, the song, the title track off of the album, was released in February. And so it's just kind of starting to hit radio now. And so we've been really excited to finally release the album for everybody to hear.
And can you tell me a little bit about the making of the music video?
Well, to be honest, it was actually one of the highlights of our career. We were down in Florida when we shot that video. We teamed up with another set of brothers called the Eddy Brothers. There were 7 of us on set. It was like a big family event and get-together. And we just kind of hope that the amount of fun that we had that day in Florida translated over social media to the actual video. So it was a lot of fun, like one of the highlights of our career, I would say, thus far. And we're just hoping that it really complemented the song, and we feel that it kind of encapsulated what the song was about. So yeah, we're just hoping that people are enjoying that, and that it kind of allowed them to shake off a little bit of the wintertime blues, as it was released kind of at the end of wintertime.
So what's in the future for the Hunter Brothers? Do you have any plans for any of your newest tracks?
Well, we definitely have some plans for some of the songs on the record for down the road, but I'm going to leave those ones a bit of a surprise for listeners. Definitely have some exciting plans in the works.
So let's say if your group was able to reach a point where you become an A-list country band, would you leave the farming behind?
I mean, we'll see. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. I think we'd love to give the music the best shot that we possibly can and really pursue it to the best of our abilities, and we'll see kind of where that takes us. I think we'll always have our roots in the farm, so whether that's, just farming a little bit or maybe not at all for seasons, or full tilt farming every season, we'll see kind of how things go and what we're able to do, like I said, in that continual balancing act. But we want to give this thing the best go that we possibly can, while still keeping our roots in the farm.
Do you have any plans for this upcoming summer and foreseeable future?
We have a few different shows planned for this upcoming summer. We're going to be in Calgary and Medicine Hat on July 1st. So that's going to be a busy day. We'll be in Dauphin Fest the 2nd of July. So that'll be a lot of fun out in Manitoba there. We're at Momart in the same month, and a few other dates that are kind of coming in on the calendar. So yeah, it's going to be a fun summer. And we have some other things that are kind of up our sleeves right now as well that we're looking forward to announce to everybody as well.
Well, we will definitely mark our calendars. You can keep up to date with Ty, JJ, Dusty, Luke, and Brock Hunter on iTunes, Vivo, Facebook, and Twitter.
This is Ty Hunter with the Hunter Brothers.
And I don't even need 2 weeks off. But baby, you're my senorita anywhere you